Today I'm going to show you guys how to replace one of these water pumps on a Audi 2008 through 2017 Audi Q5. Now this goes for the same on the A4, the S4, the A4, and the S5. Front end conversion looks actually pretty cool compared to the stock. But the water pump looks like it's located in a place that I've never seen before. I've only ever worked on Hondas and BMWs and Toyotas, but this is a first time for me. Already removed the under tray. It was probably the previous owner. We're gonna remove this coolant reservoir. And then we are going to remove the throttle intake body and this hose. I am pretty sure that these look like 8 millimeters. You could probably use a screwdriver, flathead. Okay, so here's what it looks like without the intake hose. I did have to use a flathead screwdriver and a little bit of force to get these hoses off. But now we're gonna take off these connectors, and then we're gonna work on removing this reservoir. So once you get down to this part, you're gonna remove this reservoir. There's 2 bolts there. There's these hoses you have to disconnect. Pretty simple. But when you get to here, if you didn't drain the coolant right, or if you want to do it a little different, which is what I'm doing, I'm not going to drain the entire system because that's going to make a mess. I do have something underneath the car, I don't know if you can see it, to catch the coolant. But I'm going to take this hose, and if it goes according to plan, I'm just going to pop off this hose at the same time. Plug this hose with a towel and then let this hose drain into the coolant reservoir. Not the coolant reservoir, the oil pan. And then let's see how this goes. Okay, so that worked out better than I thought it did. Ish. Okay. Let that drain out, like so. Okay. Pretty simple. Remove this connector that's here. Like so. And we'll move on to the next step. We'll get this out of the way. We'll probably get this cleaning at some point. Okay, so now we're gonna remove this throttle. I'll show you guys that. You need a T30. I'm using the multiple extension here just because I'm lazy to find the right tool, but that works just fine. Okay, so now, once you're pretty much there, this bolt is giving me some kind of trouble. Can't really move on to the next step unless you remove this throttle. And it's simple, it's 4 easy bolts. Now this video is to help you guys save some money when it comes to some of this stuff. I personally would take my car to Audi and have them do the work, but sometimes it's kind of fun to tinker around. Now, honestly, when I put these back in, I am most likely gonna put some WD-40, maybe a little bit of oil so they go in there and they come out easy for next time if I have to get back in here and do some maintenance. Now this, here's what it looks like. You guys can see that. We're gonna want to remove all of these connectors. Now it seems like there's a lot in there, but trust me, don't be scared to dig in there. And here's the water pump that the customer provided. Before we get in there, just so you guys are kind of familiar with what it looks like. It looks like a tube, obviously the water pump itself. Looks like it's a mechanical pump. And the thermostat is also included in there. So, kind of cool. Usually in these newer cars, that stuff is two separate things. It's like some gaskets. A plug of some sort. And I'm pretty sure that's a temperature sensor. Nothing else in there. I don't know what brand this is. Like I said, the customer provided it. We're just gonna put all that back into the box. Don't buy cheap stuff, folks. This pick tool, just to make it easier to remove all of these sensors and whatnot. And then I'll get to these brackets. Looks like that's probably the biggest one. I tried to remove this little guy right here, but I don't think I'm gonna remove it. Just because, I don't know, the age of this plastic might be brittle from overheating or something else. So I'll start with these, that, so on and so forth. And then we'll come back here and give you guys a time lapse of everything I'm doing so far. But it's starting to look pretty good. And don't forget your gasket. You're gonna have to clean that off. So I swapped out to one of these little extensions that has like this knurling on it, just to help me get these bolts off, because my hands got a little wet from the coolant. But this, see, make sure you get one of these magnets. Just so I could remove them easier. But these are some of the brackets that have come off so far. Easily just pull that out. I am moving kind of fast here. We'll get back to that here in a second. There's one more cable here. And then we can start moving some of this out. More cables to unplug. Now I do recommend getting one of these if you have plenty of room. One of these 5-degree ratchets. I've designed some of these before, and trust me, anything with a greater rotation of 5 degrees is better than a standard one. I took the harness, pulled everything out. There's like these two sensors right here. You can remove all that stuff. I tucked whatever I could back there. Now, here's the water pump slash thermostat. Now that we got most of this harness out of the way, see, here's the rest of it. You have to remove this bracket if you want to also. I'm assuming somebody's probably done this without having to do all of this, but we're doing it this way. We're doing it. We're gonna do it the quick way. So we got this harness out of the way. I'm gonna tuck it down like that. I like keeping track of the time. So we're at about like 46 minutes. I like timing things. What we're gonna do next now is remove all of these coolant hoses, because obviously you're gonna have to remove coolant hoses to get there. And I will give you guys a time lapse of that so you don't have to. We're also gonna, so you guys don't have to watch every little bit of step. We're also gonna remove these here to access everything as easily as possible. Like I said, this should be a quick, easy job and help you guys save money. Don't break any connectors whatsoever. Okay, use a pick, push the pick in there, pop them out, pull them out. Do not pull by here. I also let you guys know, I took apart the cable from the alternator. Don't judge me on this. Wrap it in a plastic bag, electric tape, whatever. There's a 10 mil right here. You're gonna have to remove for this bracket. It looks like there's another one here. It's got a ground cable. We're gonna remove all these hoses. Let's do it. We've gotten most of it off here. As you can see, all that's left now is to actually remove the pump. Get yourself some water, spray it. Now I'm gonna show you guys a little technique here that I learned by doing things the hard way, so you guys can do it the easy way. So kind of give everything a brush. Try to be professional about it. I've been working on cars for about 15 years. And I hate when people don't take care of their cars. I mean, this is obviously not my car. Looks like a customer had recently purchased it and was just not wanting to do the maintenance. I think they had planned on going on vacation or something. Personal friend of mine. Just brush it, you know, get it nice and clean in there. Anything you don't want to get on your hands, and it'll make your compartment smell a lot better, that's for sure. So again, like I said, brush it, spray it a couple times, like so. Let me show you guys a little trick. Okay, so once it's sat for a while, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get a bunch of these towels. I would use recycled towels, microfiber towels. Throw them all in there. Now, I've spent most of my life working in machine shops, and this is something that you're not supposed to do, but we're gonna do it. Just make sure you get a pair of safety glasses, an air hose, and blow all the water, and the water eventually comes up, gets absorbed by the towel, and then you can kind of wipe off the rest. Just a quick clean around. You don't have to get all super detailed with it. Just do it, get it done, and that's it. It's looking much cleaner. Put these bolts back on. You can put some of the brackets back on, just so you don't lose the bolts. I'm gonna count here. There's 2 bolts there, there, there. I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 9 or 8. And then we can fully remove the assembly. And we'll get back to it. By doing this, you literally keep your hands pretty clean. You need to remove this hose to get to this. It looks like maybe this was cracked. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Or maybe it was designed like this. I'm not 100% sure. But it goes to this belt. Now you have to remove this belt. And once you get the belt, then you can go from there and the pump will come right out. And this bracket, if you're not careful with it, you will break it. So be super careful. Just remember, don't break this. This goes back on there. Make sure to clean it. Let's get back to it. There's the belt off. I mean, this doesn't look too old. It's pretty brand new, actually. But it does look like there is a break in the gasket, which would explain. And there, looks like the gasket's old and looks broken right there. That would explain the leak. We were trying to chase down a leak and it was right there the whole time. Made in Austria. We're gonna sand these surfaces. I don't know if you guys can see those right there. Any mating surface, like these here, you get like a residue that gets kind of built up over time. You're gonna wanna sand that. I'm gonna take, I'll show you guys, either some Scotch-Brite or some sandpaper and like clean that completely down. Take your sandpaper or your Scotch-Brite and like literally just sand it down. You're just cleaning up the mating surface. I haven't made quite a bit of videos in the last couple of years, so I'm gonna start making some of these videos. Well, most of the time, it's pretty easy fix, like it's a sensor. And I'll show you guys how to diagnose stuff like that. But on cars you actually like this Audi. Just get it nice and clean. I love these cars. These cars are beautiful. Audi makes some pretty high quality vehicles. Get it nice and clean. I'm gonna show you guys again up close in case you can see the first time how I use the compressor. how much cleaner that looks, guys. Pretty dope. We're gonna let this dry for a little bit, and then we're gonna get back to assembling it back together. Bolts to the housing, put the belt back on, put all the hoses, all the connectors back together, the brackets, the reservoir, the throttle body, and the intake. And then we're gonna fill this thing up with coolant. And so I want to give you guys a couple tips on these water pump kits. I'm only going to go over this because if you're missing items, like for say you're missing a gasket or sensor, you will know right here, and you bought the wrong kit. I will tell you guys exactly what model this is in the description, but hear me out. Okay, so you have a gasket that goes here. Okay, that goes in there. This clip is from the original water pump, goes there. This goes to the thermostat part, and it goes in like so. I'm gonna put that aside. Okay, then you also have these, I'm guessing this is an extra gasket, but you have these various gaskets, and you have this hose. On the replacement hose, you can see the old one. I'm only replacing it because when I tried to unscrew it, it broke off. As you can see, there's another T30 that holds it there. But there should be gaskets here. One that goes on the female side. This is the male side. The female side, you can see they're overstretched in some places. See, that's also another gasket there, and it's pretty corroded right here. I mean, it's just plastic, doesn't matter, but it looks like it should be replaced, or it should have been replaced at some point. But that's just a quick rundown on how it goes. You're gonna wanna know this, okay? I'm gonna dip these in oil, okay? Whatever. But if you're having trouble trying to figure out where each one of these individually goes, I will show you right now. Okay, two little ones go here. Okay, these three longer ones, there's 3 holes here. Those go there. Okay, got it? The shorter one, it's not this one. This one goes to the housing that we're gonna clean, right? There you go, okay. Cool. Remember, the 3 long ones, the 2 short ones. The 3 long ones, the 2 short ones, the small one. The 4 long ones go to the throttle. Those are the first ones you take off. Remember that. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys another thing. Get some oil. Okay, I'm just gonna, this is probably not the right way to do it. This is probably not very smart either. You should keep this dry. The back of this fan here is more like modern computer technology, where it looks like the heat here dissipates from the back of this cover. It's more like a modern computer component, which is pretty rad. Kind of shows you like cars are evolving. Pretty neat. Anyway, like so. Just push it on there. This is probably the hardest part about this whole entire thing, is how to get the belt back on, and I'm showing you right now how to get it and do it. I'm sorry for the jitters. Don't use nothing sharp. Okay, so there it is. On. We'll blow that off with some air. Boom. Okay, the belt's on. You can see the reason why I cleaned most of it, like I showed you guys, is just to keep it clean. I've never seen this before. And this is kind of cool technology. So the back of this fan here rotates. So as the cam, the crank, the pistons, they all rotate, they drive this mechanism mechanically. These little fins, now you see the way they're designed, dissipate the heat out. And most likely, because of the way the car is designed, the airflow flows from here back through the compartment over the engine, and it has to escape somewhere. Now, I bought this torque wrench years ago. It's bent here. You really don't have to tighten these that much. It has Newton meters because we're working on a German car, not an American car. So it's in metric. Quarter-inch. You can get these at parts stores, and you want to torque them to, I think, about 9 Newton meters, which would be about, no, actually, don't quote me on that. I will put that in the description, because 80 pounds sounds like quite a bit. Actually, okay, 9 Newton meters is 80 pounds. And that's what the diagram calls for. So we're gonna go 80, and then we're gonna finish this installation, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the car. So we're about finished up here. All we need to do is replace the gasket here. We've done this one. We've bolted and torqued everything. All the connectors are gonna go back in. That one, all of these brackets, everything that you see here is gonna go back. The reservoir will go back, and we'll pretty much be done. This is why I decided to separate everything. So the harness, move it out of the way, easy, right? Plugging things back in, piece of cake, right? Like that. This larger connector like that, smaller connector, sensor that goes back here. Oh, there we go. This bottom one goes to this connector down here. You heard it snap. Okay. I'm gonna route this kind of backwards like that. Okay, and I'm gonna start from the center so you guys don't get confused. This one, although, goes on the outside. Be careful with this one. That looks like a mass flow sensor, so be careful. Okay. So, that goes to the alternator. And you can kind of start to separate these as you go. this one. There should be a gasket for that one. We might have got ripped off, but it's okay. We're about tightening that up. Connect anything that might not be connected here to their proper connections. Okay, and that one goes to the back of the alternator. Okay, these two, obviously you can tell by the looks. Let's zoom in here. Boom. And boom. Connection. We have connection. Okay. This will probably be for the intake throttle. Or we got that completely backwards. Anyway, we're gonna find out. So everything else is connected. Looks really good actually down here as we slowly put this all back together. Just try to make it work as best as you can for now. You're gonna obviously have some kind of issues putting it all back together. But the best thing you can do is be super organized when installing. We are reaching the end. We're right back where we started. Exactly like where we started. Tightening up these bolts here. I might just leave those like that, nice and snug. Tighten this one up, but not too much. It is made out of plastic. I'm gonna give this one more quick. Okay. We tighten these. And I want to give you guys a tip. If this hose right here is giving you trouble where it does not connect, it's because it's wrapped around, most likely, that hose there. See that? And then it has to go through these lines. Then you can just snap back in. Take this other one. Okay. Pull these up. There we go. Boom, boom, connected. Awesome. The cover. And we're pretty much done. You fill it up with coolant. For some reason, these Audi models use this pink, just like the some of the newer BMWs, they use like a blue coolant. This one uses a pink coolant, remember that. And you obviously know, you can find it right there, G12. This is just what was provided to be. This is the cheap stuff. I would recommend just doing the research. The composition of the material for the liquid might be the same, doesn't matter. You might even find out it doesn't really matter. I will do a video on how to bleed the system, and you can find that in the description above.